They say Covelli done changed the world. Now we all leftovers, yeah, all one world. They say Covelli done changed the world. Now we all leftovers, yeah, all one world. Yo, fuck that shit, hands across America bullshit. Cause when the bug died down, they still gonna kick us the fuck out.
Yeah, nigga.
Redline my district, covert op-ed. Pacify my people, so we won't stop it. Organize me, gente, use raw logic. No weapon is greater than that which is knowledge. Snake oil sales from pale faces gratuitous. Cloud your third eye with lies, now you're stupid. Sus motherfuckers all up in my space. Show me fake love, I know you hate my race. Satan's alive, disguised as millennial G. Genocide, these war crimes are...
And boy, we got an episode for you today. We got a special guest here on the show. Some of these videos, will air on my podcast. So if you don't get to listen to the whole show, it will be on my podcast on Real Lil TV. But nevertheless, 1833 Radio BX is the request line that you are going to call to get in the show. But let's get right to it. My special guest here on the show today, Princepowerule, the founder of the Leftovers group. And he just dropped the album called Engraved in New York. So you can catch that album wherever you catch albums. He's going to explain how you do that. So, nevertheless, Princepowerule, what's going on, my brother?
What up, Lil? It's great to be on here again with you. I know that we went through a couple of little miscommunications and getting our times right, but it's perfect. There's a lot of good things going on with the music, and there's a lot of good things going on in the sports world right now. So I can't wait to get into it. But, of course, we can start with the album first.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely got a lot to say about the sports. But, let's start with the album. And I just want to give our listeners that never heard of you before a little background information of how your group started and how you started rapping.
Well, basically, I'm out here right now in front of the stoop, in front of the crib doing this interview. So, I started a long time ago, man. I'm a product of that 90s boom bap era. And, it came out independently around 89. We had a couple of records that we were killing and rocking on the mediums at our time. During our time at that moment in history where, was FM radio and college radio. So we was definitely rocking on all the college radio stations that were prevalent at that point. And also we were rocking on 98.7 KISS and 107.5 WBLS, Red Alert and Marley Marl. P-Rock DJing over there, Clark Kent DJing on Marley Marl. Red Alert holding it down, Chuck Chill Out, all that stuff. Plus your college radio shows that were prevalent, WBAU in Garden City, The Wild Man Steve, Stretch Armstrong and Bobito on WKCR, Columbia University, 89 Tech 9, DJ Clips over there at NYU, a lot of individuals, man. So, that was great, and then we shot our own videos at that time, Powerule, and we ended up being on Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box, the Video Jukebox out of Florida, BET, MTV, and a whole bunch of other things. So we did well, and then got picked up by Interscope in 1991. The first two rappers on Interscope was myself and Tupac. They also had a couple of rock groups, which is Primus and Helmet. And it was a great experience. It wasn't the best experience for me. I had a better experience being independent than being on a major, being that they were located so far away. They were in California, and I was out here in New York. So it was kind of tough to keep a camaraderie in between myself and the staff. But anyway, time moved on and everything. And it was a great time, but then I slid back from that, and then I came back and I didn't make any music for about 15 years, and then ended up getting back into it again in 2016 with the help of some good friends, Large Professor, Psycho Les, Lord Finesse, DJ Axe, Team Demo, Ayatollah Beats, Operator M's, myself. You know, we got back to doing it. You know, features by my man Thurston Howard III and Tragedy Gaddafi, my man EQ Lyrics, Sonny Banks. I forgot one or two people, but you know, it's all good. But yeah, so did that, and then about 2 years ago, I came up with a concept called the Leftovers NYC, being that the hipsters over here in Williamsburg started calling the people who were indigenous to this neighborhood the leftovers. Found it as a very derogatory term. And I just embraced that, you know, made it a positive like we do. We take a negative and we make it into a positive. And now the Leftovers NYC have our first album out now that it was released on Bandcamp a couple of months ago. Doing very well. Production from Team Demo, production from my brothers Toast 187 and myself, Phil Ortiz, Sunya Zala, Rabito Ross, Sharif Prophet, Benny Blanco 72, Sick Boy Vision, HD, of course. Rest in peace to Lenito. Yeah, we all put that together there, and it's doing real well. And then probably about this week or next week, we're gonna have it stream on all major platforms, so then you can easily have access to that. And we're gonna release about 2 or 3 new projects this year, starting with Engraved in New York Part 2. And then we got Writings on the Wall coming, and then we got The Death of Robert Moses and Chronicles of Juan O'Neill. We got a lot of things dropping this summer, man. So it's gonna be an exciting time. Peace to my man Chino Excel, my man Curious, my man Black Poet, my girl Hayes. You know, all of them that will be featured on this new EP that will be dropping. And my man Doom the Wiz, he got a beat on there too.
So let's go back to the layoff that you had. You talked about a 15-year layoff. That's a long layoff. So what was it that gave you that urge to come back into the studio and expand your creativity, especially when it comes to dropping music and everything that you do?
Well, I just got disgusted with the music industry in total at the end of 2001. I just didn't like the business, and you know, I just felt like, you know, it was a shady thing, and it really wasn't for me, man. I'm not that type of dude. You know, I'm generally just like a nice person, you know what I'm saying? So I stepped away. I started doing other things. You know, got a regular job, man. I was working as a doorman for a long time. And a friend of mine, this was around 2016, and you could see that the tension in the air in 2016 was very reminiscent of the tension that was in the air in the late 80s when we had our own movement with Spike Lee and Public Enemy, you know, which was just spawned from the movements that were prevalent in the late 60s with Vietnam and the Civil Rights Movement. So, you know, these things have just been going on and on and on. So in the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, there was a lot of civil unrest. So, you know, so you saw a lot of movements, like I said, with, you know, your ex-clans and your Public Enemies, and even your NWAs were, you know, a part of those movements, you know, that were very, very important to the growth of hip hop, you know, to make brothers understand that there's a lot of cultural things going on here, and there's a lot of injustice that's going on. So it ain't just about doing, you know, a brand new dance or partying or whatever. So I was gravitated towards those things. And when I seen what was happening in 2016 with Eric Garner, I felt like I could get back in, and a friend of mine from Philadelphia sent me a beat, and it was called Grace. And then at that time I was coming home from work, and in the subways I saw all the Black Lives Matter graffiti there. And this is 2016. This ain't last year. So I felt like I had something to say at that point as a man. So I went back into the studio, dropped something that came out good, and that just spawned the new reincarnation of myself, which actually spawned the new Princepowerule albums, which spawned this leftovers movement, which is really what my passion is, and a place where I feel like this is where I'm most comfortable, and this is what I was called to do. Hit up my, I got my little, my vitamin D and zinc shot.
Yeah.
Brothers is trying to stay healthy and last on this
Definitely.
earth.
Especially during this pandemic.
You know, I work in a supermarket, and Trader Joe's to be exact. I'll say their name. It's all good. And throughout the whole pandemic, and then now we're gonna go with Almighty C. This one's great. The Psy.
Yes, sir. Free
That's both
promotion.
shirt. But these are all Trader Joe products.
Trader Joe, we shouting y'all out, man. We shouting y'all out here on the show. Yes, sir.
Got you, man. What up, Hannah? Well, hold on, one more.
Okay, take
Last
another one.
one
Yes, sir.
is the ginger joint. I just got to get all this in, man. Brothers never contracted COVID or anything like that throughout the whole pandemic. Just gonna keep on doing exactly what I was doing.
Exactly. I ain't contracted either, and I'm glad I didn't. Well, I think I did actually once, but
I did actually. I know a lot of individuals don't really believe in the vaccine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I have a mother that's not amino. She's immune compromised, and so in order for me to be around, I had to get it. So I just got it a couple of weeks ago, man. I'm feeling fine. So it's your own decision, but I had to do it because for my family. So
yeah, definitely. No, those are the tough choices, man. You got some family that really is like older, so you have to make that decision.
Yeah, my mom, she can't get the vaccine due to her condition. So in order for us to be around her, we had to get the vaccine. So yeah, I was fighting it at first, but I got to do what I feel is right for my family, and I love my family, so it was only the right thing for me to do. All right, let's go.
All right, let's get it. So I'm a huge Warriors fan. That's my favorite movie of all time. Favorite movie of all time. How did the iconic movie The Warriors play a big part in The Leftovers? Because I see a lot of, I follow your work, so I see a lot of Warriors vibes when I watch your work. How did The Warriors have an impact on your group?
God damn, Lil, you wasn't even born when The Warriors came out.
It's timeless. It's a timeless movie, man. I remember I saw that movie one night. Me and my dad, we used to watch movies together on a Saturday. So we picked out The Warriors. I actually think I picked it out. He had like a whole section of DVDs, like thousands. Yeah. So I just picked out The Warriors one time, and I never forgot it after I saw it.
It definitely has a lot to do with it. Just as you see the logo, the Leftovers logo, it's sort of a play on the Warriors. Not exactly, but sort of. Big up to my man, Ricky Rivers. He's the one that created that logo. But that was the vibe I was going for, a real New York City vibe, Like the Leftovers NYC is the Leftovers NYC. I'm talking about the struggles that are going on right here. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world and going on in this country, but if I don't take care of my own backyard, who am I, So the Warriors definitely have a lot to do with it, imagery-wise and energy-wise. We find, the Warriors might have been fighting all the gangs in New York City to get back to Coney Island. But we fighting all these real estate companies that are trying to gentrify our neighborhoods just to, keep where we live at. So it definitely, has something to do with it, man. I respect that.
Yeah, definitely.
The new EP that's dropping, we got a little Warriors thing in there by my man Doom the Wiz. So yeah, you can look out for that.
And the thing that I like about the Warriors movie is that, it was in the Bronx, you was in the Harlem, you was in Brooklyn. So I know a lot of people, friends in the Bronx that are Warriors fans that, post the Warriors pictures all the time in the Bronx. And you also got Brooklyn. Sheepshead Bay movie theater, you go in there's a big fat Warriors poster. So that's the thing I like about the movie is that because, it was in different cities in Brooklyn, different boroughs in Brooklyn. I mean, in New York City. You have all that fan base that follows it and still carries on the legacy today.
Oh yeah, because it's an all city thing, man. It's just an all city movement. So I'm glad that the movie has created such a cult phenomenon. It's a great film. You haven't seen it, go check it out. You might think it's a little bit dated, but damn, I can't wait till they make an updated version of the Warriors and do it
I
the
said the
right way.
same thing. I said
You
the
know, I,
same thing.
I just understand why it hasn't been done yet, but I mean, man, what they could do with that would be incredible.
I think I heard somebody in an interview. I forgot the podcast. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want to say ideas without shouting it out, but somebody on the podcast said that they was gonna think about working on one. It's gonna be about Cyrus and how he became the gang leader of
Wow,
the Rips.
riffs and stuff. Oh yeah.
I think that would
That'd
be a
be,
dope.
yo, listen, man, there's so many angles. That'd be incredible. That'd be something else.
Let's go to the album real quickly before we move on to the sports. This
Okay.
album tackles a lot of issues in the community, primarily gentrification. For those who don't know what gentrification is, and you should know, it's the influx of wealthier people moving into an area while the poorer people are pushed out. This shapes the neighborhood cultures and characteristics along with that. So there are lines that stick out to me throughout this album. One line that stands out in the song Vega. They want to push us out and put these people in our place. And I'm just putting the word people here.
Yeah.
That line right there. Can you speak to me about that line and why is it so important to not only you but the people who've been living in the cities for all these years?
It's just like, listen, man, it's like you work at a company for 20 years and you give them your blood and your sweat. We pay taxes in this place and we went through the worst parts. Me being older, man, I've been here through garbage strikes. I've been here through the burnt down buildings. I've been down here. I've been here since the incredible violence on the subways. I've been here through the AIDS era, the crack era, everything. Civil unrest. Even last year, now pandemics and Black Lives Matter and riots and all that. You know what I'm saying? Young Lords movement, Black Panthers. You talk about all these things, and you gonna invest all that time here and pay your taxes and do the right thing, go to work and do the right thing, and then they're just gonna displace you. I mean, where's the honor in that? If you paid a certain amount of taxes for a certain amount of time in New York City, you should be afforded the ability to have rent stabilization, and you should be able to stay there just so for the fact that you helped build this city. You know what I'm saying? So for them to just be like, hey, we're going to push you out because now these real estate companies just can get so much more money because now all these, suburban people want to move over here because now they want to live a city lifestyle, or they had some epiphany where they thought they were some kind of incredible artist. So they want to come over here to make their dreams happen. I don't think that should be at the cost of people that, look at this block, bro. This block right here, my neighbor lived right across the street, right over there. He was
Yeah.
living there for 25 years. And then one day, he wasn't the type of person who could buy that house across the street. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't buy that crib, but he paid his rent and he raised his children on this block, playing all up and down this block right here. You know what I'm saying? So for them to just kick him out, man, it's just a smack in the face, man. So, they try to push us out, put these suckers in our place. Your Addy say New York, but I read sucker on your face. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? And then they're displacing all the mom and pop shops, the dope ass Dominican spot down the block, the sneaker store that was over there. And they just opening up coffee shops, man. So they can sit there, have one cup of coffee and be on the internet all day and work on some bullshit ass screenplay that ain't never gonna come out anyway because you're corny.
Yes, sir. And you mentioned the words "do the right thing." I actually think that Spike Lee hinted at gentrification in that movie. There's a scene in that movie where it was this Caucasian dude with the Boston Celtic jersey on. It was
Larry
like, "What you
Bird
doing
shirt
on
on.
this block?" Yeah, exactly, Larry Bird shirt on. And it was like, "What you doing on this block?" I actually think that right then and there, Spike Lee foreshadowed gentrification. And it's crazy because my final college paper before I graduated college was on gentrification because we was having a
Oh,
Spike Lee class. and they said choose any topic that Spike Lee discussed from the movies that we watch and write a what was it, 8-page paper on it. So I already knew I was going to do gentrification because I went to Bishop Loughlin for high school, and I know how over there is purely gentrified over there downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene area, and how you have
Absolutely.
these condos. I seen it firsthand after school, walking to the train station. You see these big condos and the Barclays Center and everything around there. So I knew I had a upfront view of gentrification right there, and that's why I wanted to do that
Absolutely.
paper on it.
And that's why I don't with the Brooklyn Nets, man, because the Brooklyn Nets is just a team of gentrification. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Knicks fan, baby. You know, this is real New York City. That Brooklyn Nets downtown shit, man, that shit is all false, man. Shit, man. But anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. So to close this out, I just want to shout out everybody before we move on to the sports to go check out that album, Engraved in New York. It's a very good album. I sent it to my friends. They love the album. They co-sign it. It's very conscious. So listen, open up your conscious mind and enjoy a great album. And I like the intro too. I just want to say that too. I like the intro with
listen, my man Soonaz Allah, man, and I think I probably forgot to say his name. So, you know, every single time I do one of these interviews, my man Toast 187, babe, he'll be like, yo, write it down on your hand or some shit, or like you got the playlist, like Tom Brady looking at the plays and put everybody in. Because I'm so fortunate to have such a great cast of individuals around me. And Soonaz Allah is one of the premier interviewers. If you guys don't know who he is, man, you listen to the Power Right Show, you go read Premier Hip Hop. Soonaz Allah is probably the premier writer and interviewer in hip hop, period. And he chose to be a part of the Leftovers. And he starts the album out so well and so prophetically. Wait till you see, we got a few things that are involved with him, but I'm really blessed to have him and all the other Leftovers members that are down with me.
Yeah, I definitely got to listen to his podcast because he recorded where I used to record my podcast. So up front, I can co-sign that. That brother is really deep and he's good. It's definitely fact.
Right. That's right, baby.
But I want to move on to the sports here. I know you're a Knicks fan. You briefly mentioned it. I want to get into the Knicks game yesterday, man. It was crazy. The crowd was electric. The Knicks defeated the Hawks 101-92 to tie the series 1-1. What are your thoughts initially from last night, seeing the crowd rocking in the Garden and just everything, the environment, we being without fans for all these, for the last year. What are your thoughts as a Knicks fan this morning right now?
I mean, bro, so I got off at work at 9 o'clock. I looked at my phone and we was losing at halftime by like 10, something like that. I remember at some point we were losing by 13. And I was like, nah, man, this can't happen. I was like, I seen the Knicks fight. I was like, you know what? Let me chill. I'm not even going to go straight home. I went around the corner to a little spot that I frequent. And they always accommodate me by putting on the game. It's not really known as a sports spot, but they always put the game on for me. And started watching little by little, and that third quarter came up, and I mean, the co-MVP on this team is Derrick Rose, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Derrick Rose got to start, but it was just the typical way that the Knicks have played all season, which is they're never really getting blown out of games, and they're always in the game, so there's always a possibility that they're going to win. I was a little bit nervous just because I'm a pessimistic Knicks fan. I'm a loyal Knicks fan, but I'm pessimistic because, a lot of my teams just have not been winners over the years. But it was an excellent game. Julius Randle wasn't even at the top of his game, but he hit big shots when he had to. And to talk about the Garden was off the chain on Sunday. And the Garden was even more off the chain yesterday. And just to see that just gives me that mid-90s feeling again, man. Because not even the mellow years and all that, the Garden wasn't sounding like that. And I used to go to the games then. But for some reason that this team has so many, like, no-name heroes like the Knicks did. The Knicks had Mason. They had Starks. You know, these guys came out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And they were big parts of the team. You didn't really know who they were, and you had a certain love for that team. And it's the same way I had love for this team. You know, I'll be totally honest, man. I never heard of Reggie Bullock before he got on the Knicks, man. I had no idea who he was. You know, I didn't know who New Orleans Noel was. And man, wait till my man Mitchell Robinson come back, because I always tell you Mitchell Robinson's my favorite player. You know, so that's going to be a big decision. But, you know, Burks, I didn't know who he was before he came on the Knicks. RJ, of course, I know he is because he's my draft pick. And Julius Randle, yeah, I knew a little bit, but he wasn't an NBA star like that. So it's just they're all meshing together. And I just got to say, man, it's got to be Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah,
that's it, man. When they hired him as a coach, I just really thought, like, this is the right hire. I hope they play for him.
Yeah, definitely, because any team that Coach Thibodeau coaches is going to play defense or threat. You know, he's going to have those guys playing defense. And I was 50-50 on it. I did co-sign it because I do know that, say what you want, he got that Minnesota team to the playoffs. And people looked at that and thought that was a failure, a failed experiment. He got them to the playoffs. When was the last time they've been in the playoffs, you know, for how many years? So I knew that he was going to have our team playing defense. I didn't know we was going to make the playoffs now. But we did, and we play hard. You know, that's one thing I would say about our team. We are never out of games because we play hard. And sometimes when our shots are not going in and we are struggling offensively, just being able to play defense sometimes creates our offense on the other end of the floor, just hustle plays and everything. So yesterday we saw Julius Randle struggling, and he got going. And Derrick Rose, who you said need to start, I agree. Derrick Rose needs to start because he's been in this moment before. He is not going to shy away from this moment, especially with a lot to prove and him having that experience. And we saw that last night, you know, playing over 30 minutes of game time. So he looks good. I think that he needed that new scenery. And that's why it looked like he was, you know, coming towards the end of his career on the Pistons. But now you give him his coach, Tom Thibodeau, and you give him an opportunity, something to play for. And now he looks like vintage Derrick Rose all over again.
I mean, listen, man, I've been watching, and the team is a whole different team when D Rose is on the floor, man. And I'm telling you, man, he's the co-MVP for me, you know. And RJ ain't even wake up yet. This might be a big moment for RJ because RJ never been in this type of atmosphere. I don't care what you did down there when you was in college, but come on, man, that shit ain't nothing compared to the Garden right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think a possibility, and let me make this one point. I used to work for one of the brothers on the Atlanta Hawks years ago, a brother by the name of Alan Henderson. So I lived down there. And he used to say, and I remember him saying it, I remember Mutombo was on that team too. And they used to go, I guess, the Knicks are coming to town. I guess we playing a road game. The amount of New York fans in Atlanta, the Knicks is going to be all right, man. Because, listen, there's going to be about 45% New York Knicks fans in that Atlanta arena, man. I'm telling you. And I think you're going to see big games from R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle down there to bring it back to New York City and top it off for us to win.
Yes, sir, man. And yesterday was just a pleasant sight to see. Reggie Bullock hit some clutch shots, some clutch three-point shots to keep us in the game. And
my man, The Weeknd just doing it.
Doing it on the weekdays, you know, that's what he was doing. And you saw when they put Trae Young on the bench, I think that's when we got going. You know, you got to take a victory how you get it. I would say Atlanta probably lost themselves that game with all the shots that they missed. And when Trae Young went to the bench, we capitalized. But at the end of the day, that's called capitalism. We capitalized there. And now we won the game, and now we tied the series 1-1. And I'm predicting that we're going to take care of Atlanta in Game 7. At first, I said 6, but I'm going to give it 7. I think it's going to be a competitive, close series that's going to have a lot of games like the first two. That's going to be later on in the series. But you know what? I have faith in the Knicks. I love what they're doing. I know that they're going to bring it every night, and they're going to be competitive. They will not get blown out the gym. They will be there to win, and I predict they will do so in Game 7.
Absolutely. I mean, I hope they win in 6. You know, but it's an exciting time, and just imagine now if the Knicks do go get past this first round and do something in the second round. It's just like, you know, that the future is going to be so bright for the next few years, and I feel finally we got the right upper management in place that'll make sure that we're going to have some great years ahead of us. And, you know, we're going to be able to attract that individual that hopefully that is the right fit and that'll be cohesive with this unit and be cohesive with Tom Thibodeau in order for the Knicks to take that long-awaited step to be back in the forefront of primetime basketball.
Exactly. And I would just cap this topic off with this statement, man. When the Knicks are good, basketball is good. And the Knicks are New York's team. All right. I don't care how many stars that the Brooklyn Nets have. All right. When you go to the games, to the Brooklyn Nets games, all you see is Park Slope people that live in condos. All right. Russians. That's the people you get, man. You have to literally take on the crowd yourself to get some type of noise. But when you go to the Garden, it's a whole different atmosphere. They don't need you there to try to, get everybody to, come up and make noise. It will already be noisy as it was last night.
I mean, it's just, listen, man, I have no doubt at some point in time, the Brooklyn Nets will develop their real audience. But, they the second-class citizens in New York City when it comes to basketball. They may not even be up there with St. John's, my brother.
Exactly.
but don't let St. John's get hot. The Nets ain't going to have nothing for them. But,
exactly.
Like I said, that's a team of gentrification. So, the kids of those Brooklyn Net fans, they'll probably be that first generation of real Brooklyn Net fans. And then I can respect it. But until then, man, we got like 50 years of history, man. So, you can't beat that. This has been passed down. You know what I'm saying? 20 Knicks fans can make a room sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just who we are, man. We live and die and we bleed this right here.
And we was there with the Knicks when they were great. We was there with them when they struggled for all these years. And now they starting to come back and we right there supporting them.
That's right. Absolutely. What about my hockey team last night, bro?
I heard. I have a lot of hockey fans. I'm not the big hockey guy, but I have a lot of hockey fans, and they were turned up last night. I mean, they didn't even watch the Knicks, some of them. I'm like, what's going on? You got the Knicks playing, and, they was just live at the hockey, match yesterday.
Man,
it was at the hotel and everything.
Brock Nelson was trying to go for the hat trick, but this is the thing about this Islanders team, and you talk about the Garden. Last night, he finally had a game back out in Long Island at Nassau Coliseum, the new one. Man, let me tell you something. There ain't nothing like that building when it rocks. When I was a little kid, the Islanders won 4 Stanley Cups in a row, and they went to Game 7 of the 5th one. The history of that team is crazy. Excuse me. And it's been passed down through generation. So when they play those games on Long Island, that's what I'm saying. They don't give a about playing in the Barclays Center, man. That's why they're getting their new place right out from where I grew up in Shadyville, Queens, right there by Belmont Racetrack. They got their new stadium being built. But when they play games over there in Nassau Coliseum, it is insane, man. If you go back and listen and watch that game, the noise level is insane, bro. And that's just, that's New York sports for you, man.
Yeah.
We turn up, baby. We get turned up. Good luck on the next round, man. And I hope they can get back to the Stanley Cup Finals again.
Yeah, I gotta get into hockey, man. Everybody, my friends keep telling me, man, you gotta get into hockey. I'm gonna do so.
Playoff hockey has that same intensity as NBA playoffs. It's the same intensity, man. So it's great, and it's a good time for New York sports for me right now. And my Mets is hanging in there. You know what I'm saying? They are a walking mass unit. They are just hurt incredibly. Half of their stars ain't in the lineup. The one star that is in the lineup, he ain't really hitting right now in Francisco Lindor. But the pitching him is keeping them close. And of course, my man, my number one of all time, You know, I'm a Tom Seaver dude for life, the white Gooden, but Jacob deGrom is the greatest, baby. Cy Grom, baby. Cy Grom is the greatest pitcher in baseball, son. So if they can finally start scoring him some runs, maybe that guy can win 20 games one year. But he's still the best pitcher in baseball, and he don't even be winning 13, 14 games because his ERA, it's all about that ERA, baby. And his ERA is always under 2.
It's an exciting time for New York sports. I'll just tell you that, man. You got the Jets. There's a new regime with the Jets.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, the guy from Ole Miss that they took more.
Zach Wilson. What you think about Zach Wilson?
I think that, look, it's a gamble, but, you know, I think that they made the right decision starting over because you got yourself a new coach, basically a new team. So I just think that you should have got a new quarterback, you know, and I think that they did. And I just think that, look, it's either two things. It's either he's going to be this Patrick Mahomes-like guy or he's going to be a bust. So that was a risk that Douglas took, and we're going to have to see if it pays off. I think they did a good job of building around him. They're giving him a shot now. I think they did more for him on draft night than they did for Sam Darnold in 3 years, you know?
Right.
So.
I think they had a lot more, you know, they got the cap space and they collected a lot of draft picks. I mean, on paper, this looks like it should be a lot better year for the Jets. I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs or anything like that. But if the Jets come in and they get 7 wins, that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, definitely. Especially that AFC East. Bill Belichick was on his revenge tour. His revenge tour started in free agency. You know, the man behind the hoodie.
Yeah. The Unabomber is back.
And you got the Dolphins. That's going to be a good team. They was a good team last year, too. Another year under his belt to get healthy from that hip injury. Nobody talks about that. They expected that guy to come in and throw darts and throw for 300-plus yards. That wasn't going to happen. He was hurt last year with that hip surgery. People forget that. He has another year to get healthier. You got Jalen Waddle over there. The AFC East is going to be tough. So, you know, like you alluded to, the Jets get to 7 wins. That's an accomplishment that they can build on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I don't know if I said before, last time we spoke, congratulations on graduating, bro.
I appreciate it. I'm mad that I didn't get to have a ceremony because it was in the middle of a pandemic. But at the end of the day, you got to be thankful.
Absolutely, man. And listen, man, I'm going to get out of here, but continued success to you.
Same.
You're a great individual. I remember the first time we met, I was like, yo, man, you're going to be doing big things. And I still believe that. And I know it's going to happen. And you just better never forget about putting me on the goddamn show, bro.
I got you. We'll make it happen.
And let me just let everybody know once again. So, you know, you can go pick up that Engraved in New York on Bandcamp right now. And probably within a week or two, it will be on all streaming platforms, man. So support, buy some of the merch that we got going on there. If you're a real New York City dude, you're a real leftover, man, go buy some of that merch. Go tell people about this because this is a movement that's important for all us native New Yorkers right here, man. So I appreciate you being a younger brother and spreading the word, man, because that's exactly what we need. We need individuals like yourself on our team.
Appreciate it. And where can they catch you on Instagram so they can get notifications?
Yeah. So at leftovers _Powerule on IG, at Crime Wave Music NYC on IG, and you can go to Oscar Prince Marcano on Facebook. So that's where I'm at right now.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 1833 Radio BX is the request line that you're going to call to get into the show. Princepowerule, I want to thank you for coming on and spending your time with me today on the show.
Marcano out. Love you, bro.
Same, bro. Salute.
This ain't COVID done changed the world. Now we all leftovers, yeah, all one world. This ain't COVID done changed the world. Now we all leftovers, yeah, all one world. Yo, fuck that shit, hands across America bullshit. Cause when the bug died down, they still gonna kick us the fuck out.
Yeah, nigga.
Redline my district, covert op-ed. pacify my people so we won't stop it. Organize me, gente, use raw logic. No weapon is greater than that which is knowledge. Snake oil sales from pale faces gratuitous. Cloud your third eye with lies, now you're stupid. Sus motherfuckers all up in my space. Show me fake love, I know you hate my race. Satan's alive, disguised as millennial G. Genocide, these war crimes.